What's going on, nerds? Welcome back to the Comic Book Nerd Nation, episode 48, getting ever closer to that 1 year reunion. Although I'm not sure if it would be episode 52 or 50, but we've got something special planned for episode 50, so make sure you check that out if you're a true believer in the Comic Book Nerd Nation.
That'd be kind of funny if it was episode 52.
I don't know if it would actually be considered a reunion because we never really
It's not a reunion, it's an anniversary. Did I say reunion? Damn.
No, you said reunion.
All right, well, whatever. 1 year anniversary is what I meant to say. So I'm Fox 2. We got Pirate.
Hey, guys.
And the whole effing Brian.
Hola.
And I'm full of the whole effing mistakes apparently already. So let's jump in and talk about what we've been reading. I guess I'll go first this week. Let's see, I read some of the Green Lantern stuff from the Godhead story arc. I'm really liking this. I think it's going to be really, I think it's going to lead up to some really, really climactic events that are pretty sweet. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see the Sinestro book is the next one in the series. So we'll just kind of see. I've been like trying to chase it around from series to series. Like it hit Red Lantern and it hit the New Guardians and Green Lantern Corps, I think. So there's been 4 or 5 books now. I'm enjoying it so far. So we'll just have to see the direction that takes. I have a few other current books that I still need to read yet, like some Hulk stuff, Savage Hulk, and 2 Batman Eternal books. But instead of reading those, I went back and after we talked last week about how they announced that Robert Downey Jr. Was going to be in Captain America 3 and it was going to be the Civil War storyline, I decided it would be a good time for me to go ahead and go back and read the Civil War stuff with all the tie-ins and everything. And I've really been reading the crap out of it. I've read maybe the first third of the series, including all of the tie-ins, and it's amazing. I'm not a huge Marvel guy. Most of the stuff that I really enjoy from Marvel is Hulk, and this obviously, if you have read the storyline, doesn't even have the Hulk in it really. They basically send him off at the beginning, and then
he's in space by that time, right?
Yeah. Like in the very first book, they mention about how they sent him off in space, and that's it. And then I really am enjoying, though, how this revolves around Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Iron Man, and then Captain America. So you've got kind of 3 main players that, regardless of title of the comic book, the storyline typically relates to one of those 3 characters somehow. So it really keeps it kind of focused and driven towards the main Civil War title books.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is it Civil War the one where basically Planet Hulk takes place in the middle of?
Yes.
Like he wakes up and then like realizes like he hears the recording about like how Iron Man kind of like he thinks Iron Man tricked him into like going to this lush planet, and then World War Hulk happens and he comes back, or not World War Hulk,
Planet Hulk.
Then he comes back and that's World War Hulk.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've read any of those comics that I even remember.
Yeah, that's the premise of it is that just as the Civil War, like the lead up to Civil War is happening, they've just sent Hulk off to basically try and save the planet from his destruction, and then it leads in that decision kind of fuels the discussion, which turns into the Civil War storyline and develops.
He was cool with going to the planet, like that whole lush, like rainforest. He was like, he agreed that he needed to like save the world from himself, and that's why he got in the ship.
Yeah, but it was not. Yeah, but okay. it ends up being he gets pissed off about it. But
well, because like he hears a recording while he's in like cryogenic frozen, and then like he hears this recording saying that it was all this big something a recording between Tony Stark and someone else. I can't remember who it was, but that he's going off.
Reed Richards.
Yeah, I think it was Reed Richards.
Yeah, that they sent him off, and then like what he wasn't even going to where he agreed to go to.
Right.
And that's when he smashes the place, or smashes the ship, and it crashes on that fucking gladiator world.
Right.
Okay.
So that's basically most of what I've been reading. Some of the stuff I didn't enjoy as much as the others. I'm not a big Deadpool fan. I know you guys like Deadpool, so I came across a couple Cable and Deadpool, Cable and Deadpool, whatever. I didn't really care for those that much. And then
did you read it from the beginning where like he's like in the cult? Deadpool joins the cult.
It's only I'm only reading the Civil War ones.
Oh, okay.
So it's
those were weird.
Yeah.
The Civil War.
And then the Thunderbolts, I didn't really care for those ones so far. And then the X Factor ones were okay, but the two that I really didn't care for much was the Cable Deadpool and the Thunderbolts. But the rest of it has been incredible, absolutely incredible. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to keep reading it all the way through to the end, and then like you were just talking about, actually, I'm going to go over and I'm going to read Planet Hulk and then World War Hulk, and try and catch all of that stuff. So,
damn, that's a lot of books.
That's a lot of books. A lot of books. I think it's 107 books just in the Civil War storyline, if you count all the tie-ins.
Damn.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot.
So we know what you're going to be talking about for the next 4 or 5 episodes.
Right. So anyway, Pirate, what have you been reading, man?
Well, I didn't really get to read too much. I feel like I always say that, like, because I was on vacation there for a couple, like about a week and a half, 2 weeks. But I did, I had my tablet with me, so I did read some. I read a New 52 Grifter. I read like maybe 5 or 6 issues of that. I read some Red Lantern Corps, some Larfleeze. I started to read was it I, Vampire with what's his name, Andrew Bennett from Justice League Dark.
No, not familiar.
Okay, well, it got canceled after like fucking 16 issues. It was basically like Frankenstein. Like they just axed a bunch of those Justice League Dark characters pretty early in the New 52, like after the first year and a half, something like that. But was reading some of those because I was reading a lot of it. I pretty much read. I think I'm almost current on Justice League Dark. So there's some tie-ins that I hadn't read in that I wanted to go back and read. Andrew Bennett's a really cool character. I think that he, in the new Constantine show, I hope that he's in it because he's an awesome character in itself. What else did I read? I read a couple issues of the New 52 Constantine. Started that.
How is that?
I like it. It's pretty good. I like the fact they didn't run his right out of the gate with the launch of New 52. They kind of like built his character around the Justice League Dark. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he actually comes in. I don't think issue 1 of Constantine comes out until like if you're reading Justice League Dark, I think it's maybe like 20 something. I mean, it was almost like the 2-year mark maybe when they launched Constantine. So you're pretty familiar with his character in the New 52 if you read the Justice League Dark going into Constantine. I really didn't read a lot of like long storylines or any big arcs or anything like that. Just kind of went through the tablet on the road and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna read this one. This one looks cool. I'll read this one. So it bounced around a bit, but
nothing wrong with that. Keeps it interesting.
The glory of the tablet.
Yeah.
So drink a lot of alcohol
now.
though. A lot of alcohol.
What have you been reading, Brian?
This week I read most of the weeklies, the World's End, Earth 2 from DC, I keep on calling Forever Evil, Future's End.
How has that gotten? Like, because I stopped reading it about issue 8.
You need to keep on reading it because you have no idea. The things they throw at you are just so mind-boggling that, you know,
That's
you don't...
how I felt confused. Like, with Mr. Terrific and all that shit, I was just so, like...
I don't mean mind-boggling as in, like, bad. Mind-boggling as in, like, oh, what's going to happen? I got to keep on reading, They draw you in. To me, they draw you in because with the reveal that the old pre-existing DC universe is still around somewhere in the multiverse and stuff, the past 3 weeks covers all connect, and in the background of this week's covers you see different variations of Superman fighting Brainiac. Like, you see the Superman with the long hair that he had after he returned from the death of that Doomsday and stuff like that. You see, like, early DC, him fighting Brainiac. And it's just so, like, I just want to know, like, the outcome. Like, is this just a new universe that the Flash created during Flashpoint or not?
Do you feel like it's going to have, like, do you feel like it's going to lead up to a crossover of some sort?
Oh, yeah. They said that Future's End is, like, there's a 3-part event. I think World's End, showing you why Earth 2 came to Earth 1, is one. There's one, the big finale is in April, and it has to do a lot with Booster Gold. I've also been reading Marvel's event right now, Axis, which is basically Red Skull took over Professor X, cut open Professor X and took part of his brain, and is now Onslaught. If you guys remember Onslaught.
Vaguely, yeah.
He was like the combination of Professor X's mentality and Magneto's mentality and created this like ultra being that wiped out one of the, most of the main heroes like during the 90s. So he's now Onslaught, and he basically beat the shit out of all the heroes because he has 2 giant sentinels with him that he supposedly pulled the schematics from Tony Stark's subconscious and will only go after, like, these sentinels are only made to go after heroes. Kind of like in DC when Batman has the those boxes that are supposed to take down each one of the Justice League members. Kind of like that's what I get the
emergency kit type.
Yeah, I got that vibe, that same vibe off of them. So in this issue, Magneto has gathered a group of villains.
You were going to say shitload.
Yeah, shitload. Well, they're not really a shitload. There's only like a handful of them.
At what point do you reach? Like, where's the breaking point between a lot and a shitload? That's my.
I think a shitload is more than you could count on your hands.
No, a shitload
so 11
is actually a measuring
more
unit.
or less. Is it really?
A buttload and a shitload. Yes, they are real measuring units. Look it up.
Really?
I gotta.
No, it's a shit ton, a buttload. Yeah, shit ton and a buttload are actual units of measurement.
That's fantastic. Okay, well, keep talking. Keep
going,
Brian.
So he takes like this group of villains. It's him, Doctor Doom, Loki, Carnage, Enchantress, Hobgoblin. Who else is there? There's a couple other Absorbing Man. I feel like they thrown him in there because he was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I think that's it. And they're all attacking Red Skull and shit like that. And I don't know if you guys have been reading any X-Men books for the past, like, that's been around for the past couple of years.
Okay, hang on. I have an interjection here. Okay. A shit ton. There's a petition to make it an official measurement, but according to this site or this thread on Reddit, a metric shit ton is approximately 264.2 gallons.
That's pretty cool.
So there you have it.
And a buttload, hold on, a buttload is actually, it says, capacities of wine kexes were formerly measured in standard according to specific systems of English units. Various units were historically defined in terms of wine gallon. So varied according by the definition of gallon until upon the adaptation of Queen Anne wine gallon in 1707. Let's see. There's a ton, which is like a big ass barrel. There's a butt pipe, which is a half a ton. There is
A butt pipe.
It's pipe, comma butt, and it's a half a ton. And ton is TUN.
That sounds like something you would use in the bedroom if you lived in Germany.
So a butt ton is actually 225 liters or 49 imp gallons or 59 US gallons.
Wait, so this is all measured in liquids?
Apparently.
Yeah.
So you got to have diarrhea to have a butt ton or a buttload?
Of diarrhea.
Yeah.
Well, if you could
'Cause it's
fill up
watery.
Shit.
if you could shit and fill up 59 gallons in a barrel,
If you're, yeah,
then
if you're,
yes, you would have a butt ton of US gallons.
and you would also have a problem, like you would be dead.
Yeah.
You would be seriously dead.
Seriously
Like,
dehydrated.
That is-
Seriously dehydrated.
That's weird.
Okay, back to comics. What were you saying, Brian? Sorry to interrupt with the turd measurements.
So he attacks the Red Skull with these villains, and like the whole thing at the end, like Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange does some inversion spell, and I think this is gonna screw up everybody in the Marvel universe. Like, I think this is what will create that Iron Man, the superior Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're gonna get, like, he's supposed to be, like, once the comic comes out, he's supposed to be, like, a little bit more bigger of a douche. So, you know, it's good so far. Marvel's events have been lacking a little bit in the last couple of years, and this I liked because supposedly you're gonna have offshoots where, like, Carnage is, like, trying to protect New York City in his own, you know, Carnage way.
What are you saying? You didn't like Original Sin?
No. I did not enjoy Original Sin.
Oh, it
No.
started off strong. It started off good.
Yeah, the first episode or first issue, maybe
lost me
two.
of, like,
was
That's
good.
like saying your shit is strong and then saying your shit is wrong to Marvel.
Oh God. Okay, so
Shit ton fucked that up.
one of the first things that I want to talk about. Okay, so I'm friends with a handful of. I got some fucking gnats flying around
shitload?
here and shit. Shitload of gnats or something. I'm afraid with. God, I can't talk. I am friends with a handful of DC writers on Facebook, and recently some of them posted some status updates talking about how the DC editorial staff or the DC bigwigs, whoever is in charge up there, basically sent out a mandate that they all just tie up their loose ends on their story arcs within the next, like, I think it said 3 to 4 issues.
Really?
Because
Yeah,
they didn't say why or anything like that, but some of the insight that I got from, you know, what they added to that was the fact that the last time something like this came down the pipeline was leading into Flashpoint, which resulted in the soft reboot for New 52. So I don't think we're going to end up with a whole new reboot, but I'd say it's a safe bet that there is something huge, like, on the horizon. I don't know if either you guys have any kind of insights on that, or...
I remember reading or listening to Scott Snyder talk about the New 52 reboot, and he didn't even know about the whole reboot thing. If I remember correctly in the interview, that he said that they told him, like, hey, we want you, because he had already been writing Detective Comics, well, we want you to go ahead and write Batman, and he was all stoked about it, and then, so, you know, I guess he started coming up with some ideas and presenting them. He's like, oh, by the way, this is Batman 1. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I remember hearing that,
'cause
too.
I remember, I know the writer, that one specifically that you're talking of, because I remember like seeing the post, or you telling me about the post, and I went back and looked at it, and he did say that, but I don't know how. I mean, New 52 is. I mean, this is only the third year.
No, I don't think
Yeah,
they're going to reboot.
Third or fourth.
I don't think they're going to reboot New 52. I think that there's just going to be some kind of all-encompassing event that's going to take place. personally, I think it's going to be generated out of the Godhead storyline, just because of the magnitude of the people that they're talking about bringing into it, with Darkseid, the New Gods, the whole Lantern Corps, everybody in the Lantern Corps. I think it's going to be something that's generated out of that storyline that's going to be something that affects the entirety of the DC universe. How it affects it, I have no idea, but I don't think we're going to end up with a whole new, like, all right, we're starting over from scratch or anything like that.
Well,
if the new in Futures End,
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's 5 years from current present day Marvel, and there was the war that broke out in the future, and he went back in time, but went to the wrong time and overshot where he needed to go. Or no, he didn't make it as far as he needed to go.
Yeah,
right?
the thing about that though is that, like, to me it seems like all they have to do is have some kind of, cataclysmic event, some kind of something happen now, and they can say, oh, they can basically write all that off. Because because they're saying that's 5 years down the road in the future, they can have something happen now, like one of those people comes back in time and changes something or whatever, but they could very easily, have some kind of ignition point, some kind of, start off event that just completely nullifies Future's End, which is probably what's going to happen, because otherwise they're writing themselves into a tunnel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, no, I mean,
to go till March.
Futures. I agree with. I keep on calling it. Yeah,
well, that's
no,
only
I had
like
it right.
five.
Futures
That's
End.
only like 5 episodes out, though, man.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So that fits that timeline.
Futures. I agree with John. I think it's going to be Futures End, because with the whole thing them doing with Booster Gold at a month ago, where he basically meets himself from another dimension, and basically that, and the ending of Doom, where you see the crystals with all the different dimensions in it, and you see the one with the pre-52, and what supposedly this big event that's coming in April to do with Future's End. I think it's gonna tie into that, because we all thought coming into the beginning of the New 52 that the Flash just changed everything, and this was a due to him going and stop creating the Flashpoint universe and then trying to fix everything, and the New 52 came out. We thought we were done with the old 52. We'd never see anything from it again. And then until recently, and then Future's End with Brainiac popping up, and this last issue, at the end of it, I forgot who said it, but somebody goes, John Constantine goes at the end to Superman, how many times have you fought Brainiac? And Superman goes, at least 7 or 8 times. He goes, actually, you haven't fought him once.
The other thing that we have to keep in mind too when we're like speculating about the future of DC and everything like that is there's still the whole Anti-Monitor thing that's floating out there as a possibility, and the whole Superwoman's child little bit that's floating out there too, that could have some really, really lasting effects on the New 52 universe as we currently know it. I don't know.
And
I'm going to throw this out there. If there's anybody, if there's any fans, I'd be really interested. I'm sure you guys would be interested too. If you've got some speculation or what you think's going to go on with DC, leave some comments in the comment section below this video and let us know. Let us know what you think is going to be going on. What were you saying, Pirate?
No, I was just saying, like, I'm just, I don't know if I like, because I remember last time I was on there, we was talking about like favorite story arcs, and I think I'm pretty sure I said Forever Evil, only because they haven't closed it up yet. There's so many loose ends.
There's
on
a ton of stuff
Yeah.
still out there,
and it's big stuff. But like, after we did that, I started thinking about it. I'm like, man, I don't know if I like the fact that they haven't closed it up yet.
They're letting it go a little too long. It feels like
it feels like it's just crazy suspense. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. like what Fox was saying, you have they showed you the Anti-Monitor, and he seemingly, I don't know, I thought he was chasing Darkseid. Well, didn't they say he wanted to? Didn't he say the Anti-Monitor something about chasing Darkseid?
I don't know, but that could, you know what?
At the end of that,
you saying that could lead to, if that's the case, if Anti-Monitor is chasing Darkseid and Anti-Monitor is coming to Earth potentially, then that could potentially lead to Anti-Monitor and Darkseid all together in that Godhead, because the new gods in Godhead are going after Darkseid.
Well, is that Darkseid also has something to do with for Future's End? I almost said Forever Evil again, because he's led the war on Earth too. What really comes down to it is Darkseid's affecting this story. Darkseid's affecting that story.
That's our primary thread of.
Can they be both stories could come into one?
Could.
Well,
just because Darkseid.
Well, if that's the case, then so if Darkseid comes in and picks up at the end of wherever Forever Evil is, and then it's got to be something detrimental enough to where he's here and it's going on for 5 years. Whatever he's done has significantly altered this world for 5 years.
I think a war between all the Guardian or all the Lantern Corps, the New Gods, Anti-Monitor, and Darkseid would probably classify that as.
Well, but here's the thing.
But where do you draw the other heroes into that?
It doesn't ever talk about any of that up in, like, at the beginning of Future's End. I think it was issue 0.
Well, they probably wouldn't mention exactly what happened, because they don't want you. If you know what already happened, you're not going to buy the comic.
But I mean, with the robotic superheroes, that they had, they were like the spiders running around.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I couldn't picture that seems something like a Brainiac thing.
Yeah, that's where Brother Eye is Brainiac.
Damn.
He's being controlled by Brainiac.
Yeah, because they mentioned Brother Eye.
I'm really interested to see if anybody that's listening to this brings something else, because it seems like the more we talk about it, we just keep bringing more and more stuff to light. So I'm interested to see what the listeners bring to the table on this. Maybe we could talk about that, touch on that next week in episode 49.
Both of you need to read Future's End.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Read that and more sense of everything.
What are they on now? Issue 30 something?
No, I think it's 20 something.
Yeah, it's late.
Oh, it might be.
It's the same as Batman Eternal.
It's a little less than Eternal.
Yeah, I think Eternal's up to 28 or 29. So,
but I was just about to say something. I had a brain fart.
That's all right. Let's talk about the Doctor Strange movie for Marvel Studios. They have, it's rumored, but here lately it seems like almost all the damn rumors that come out are basically true. So it looks like Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be Doctor Strange for Marvel Studios. I could not tell you what movies he's in, so let me see if I can
he's the voice of Schmog.
Is he really?
Yeah, he in Star Trek the whatever to Darkness.
Yes.
Into Darkness, he was Khan.
That's who he is. That's all right. That's where I know him from.
He's on some TV show now.
Sherlock.
Yep.
Yep, he's on Sherlock, and like you said, he's in Atonement, Warhorse, Star Trek Into Darkness, and then he's the voice of Smaug from The Hobbit. So what are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you like him as a Doctor Strange?
When they announced, I think he was one of the last names they announced that they were looking at.
Yeah.
Well, that came out that they were looking at. I guess he would be out of all those names, I thought he would be better.
I disagree. I think I really, really feel strongly that Johnny Depp would have been the perfect Doctor Strange. He's basically played in pieces, in different roles. He's played each section of Doctor Strange's personality. He's played the bookworm, really smart guy in certain roles. He's played really loopy and crazy and kind of out there, as everybody knows in Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, I think that he has the tools as an actor to really do justice to that Doctor Strange, just kind of fucking out there character.
Though, I mean, Johnny Depp, he's an amazing actor. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I mean, Doctor Strange is a pretty serious. I mean, he's not like like Johnny Depp has this kind of lackadaisical approach that he does in his acting. Everything is like it comes natural for him. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Like he can act serious, but every character, to me, it just has this same type of vibe. And
like he plays the same type of character.
I don't know.
But I wouldn't call it the same type of character. I would think more of it as like the same type of. I don't know. It's like he just has this style to him that's always like.
I mean, if you think of like
every character,
loony and like almost like he was on drugs.
Secret Window wasn't like that, and neither was Ninth Gate wasn't like that either. Those were both very serious roles.
That. Like From Hell and Ninth Gate, or and all that, he still had that like
Fear and Loathing. That was my favorite.
Fear and
movie.
Loathing is
that's different entirely. That's a whole.
That's an amazing movie, but it's just it's just different. But you could still kind of see it in there though. To me, I would rather see somebody fresh, somebody that I don't have expectations of. It's hard enough when it being a comic book movie that you have expectations as the character itself. If you have an actor, you also have. If you have an actor that's familiar, that's got the same style, you kind of always have that same expectations of that actor.
Yeah.
He's doing so many things. Yeah. I would rather see a fresh face, and that way you get a fresh approach from an actor, and you could really like see how they perform that character.
That's a good point. Regardless, I'm sure he'll do the role justice. I mean, clearly Marvel is making good decisions with their casting. Their movies wouldn't do nearly as well as they did if they were making bad decisions. So,
And I'm sure Marvel being owned by Disney, well, they're not owned by Disney, but the comic books, I mean, I'm sure they're kind of like wanting to get away from Disney because Johnny Depp's in a lot of Disney movies, or a lot of Disney subcategory movies.
Yeah, I think they're all coming back for Pirates 5.
Are they really?
Yeah, I think I read that somewhere.
Damn, I didn't even realize there was a fourth one.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, it was like wading in water, doing the doggy paddle.
Did you
But
guys...
now that when we're on Marvel right now, this just popped up. But Marvel Studios sent out to like invitations, like secret invitations, for a meeting at the El Capitan Theater in Los Angeles for tomorrow. And this is supposed to be like hush hush, like only like top people, and it's you're not going to get any press.
Where the hell's my invite then? It must be out in the fucking mailbox.
No, but nothing was sent to press. That the Marvel Comics and Marvel Studios basically sent these out to have this little conference. I mean, it doesn't. There's no details on it. No, nothing. Just that these were sent, not to who, just what it is.
We'll have to see if we can figure something out.
I mean, the only thing we could do is like
crash the party
or speculate. I mean, my guess is that they're like, okay, these secret dates that we have these dates for movies. We don't have titles for the movies. We actually do. Here's what we have already, and it's already final. We already have drafts for it, but we're not releasing this to the public anytime soon.
Could be, maybe.
Black Panther movie, Captain Marvel movie.
In New York, by any chance?
What?
Is this meeting held in New York?
No, I'm sure it's
no, the El Capitan Theater in Los Angeles, which I believe is a Disney theater.
Did either of you guys watch the Constantine premiere?
Yep.
Yes.
What'd you think?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, at first it was just like, okay, but then as it went on, I'm just like, yeah, I'm digging this. It felt like the only thing I feel is it kind of felt like almost like a BBC show at first.
A little bit.
Like a Doctor Who or something.
A little bit.
British.
But I liked it. I thought it was very good. I thought he was an awesome Constantine. He looked like Constantine.
Yes,
Sorry.
he does look like Constantine
And
for
he
sure.
sounded like Constantine.
Yeah, and he had this
That
like
was the main thing.
he always had that smug look on his face.
Yeah. Now, okay, so it's clear already. Obviously, all three of us liked the Constantine premiere. We'll have to like watch a few more episodes to really get a gauge on the
Yeah.
show. But here's my question: like, what did you guys think about the Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves?
It was alright, but it wasn't Constantine to me.
I loved
like at that point,
I still watch it.
it was like they took the name Constantine and kind of the concept, but it was a mix of like, you remember the movie Van Helsing with Wolverine, Hugh Jackman?
With Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh yeah, with
Like
Wolverine.
what? They got Wolverine and fucking.
How they had those weird weapons. It was
Yeah.
like a timepiece, but they had those weird weapons. That's what Constantine with Keanu Reeves felt like to me. I mean, I liked it. It was
One
a
of the
good
weapons
movie.
Was the exact same weapon, just gold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, it was made out of a crucifix.
But it wasn't
was-
Constant. I mean, it wasn't that Constantine. It wasn't the Hellblazer Constantine,
Yeah.
which, like, I had read a bunch of issues. I have a bunch of issues from those times. This show is the Hellblazer Constantine. It's the DC Constantine, except he doesn't smoke.
I
Yeah, he does.
liked it. I really.
He smokes.
No, he didn't smoke in the TV show.
Yeah, he did.
He cut it out of the actual. You guys watched the pre-release.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
The
No,
Tory.
we didn't.
He did not smoke once in the TV show.
Well,
And
shit,
when it
man.
aired, they cut
Oh,
it all
wow.
out.
Wow.
God.
He had the
Right.
lighter, but he
Pay more
didn't smoke.
attention. Pirate is gonna get busted pirating.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We do not condone that.
No, we do
But
not. At
I would
all.
port on the nearest mainland.
In other
But
news,
I loved it.
In other news, Pirate, you were talking about. You heard something about David Goyer writing a new TV show.
Yeah, I just read it today. Apparently, let me see if I can pull it up to get the whole gist on it. But it said David Goyer, the guy who wrote Man of Steel, is writing a television show called Krypton. Let me see if it actually says if it's already got channel. It says TV series about Doom Planet from David S. Goyer.
So it's probably not picked up. It's probably not been picked up yet by a network.
Well, no, but it should. It might say. Let's see, which would be interesting because of another DC title getting the TV green light.
He's probably writing this in response to the fact that who was it? ABC picked up Supergirl. Which
Now,
do we know
my
when
question-
Supergirl starts?
No.
I'm interested to
Probably
watch that
next
to
year.
see how it goes.
Now, if Supergirl is on if Supergirl's on while Krypton is on, if she has flashbacks because she was a teenager when she was sent out and she was like
Right.
frozen or something like that. Now, will her flashbacks be pieces of the Krypton show?
That would be, if they could work that in, that would be incredible.
Does that mean she's going to have parts in the Krypton show because she was like
If it's
a
on the
teenager?
same, if it's on the same
she
network,
was
I would assume so.
Well, she wasn't a teenager. But she was significantly older.
Yeah.
I think she was like.
No, she was a teenager, man.
No, yeah, she was a teenager because they cryogenically
Yeah.
froze her.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be older than
She
Clark.
was like 16
Yeah,
or
I know
17.
she's older than Clark, but isn't she? I don't think she got. I think her shuttle took a different route.
Yeah, it took
then-
longer. That's why Clark showed up first.
Yeah.
So, that's out there. And then also, what are you guys thinking of the Flash TV show? Personally,
I think it's
love
great.
it. I
It's
love it.
amazing.
It's great.
But here's the thing, with me saying that I love it, do I like it as much as Arrow right now? I don't know.
I like it
Well,
more.
it's
I
newer.
think it's newer, but here's the thing. I think because they share some of the same writers. I think that with Arrow, they tested the waters with kind of like because the first season had nothing to do with Green Arrow.
No.
I mean, other than
the first season
Clark-
Arrow was like glorified Dawson's Creek or something.
I don't
Well,
want to wait
not
for
so
your
much, but
arrow
up
to hit me in
year
the chest because I failed this city. And
It
you
is
are
the
pretty
first season.
pissed.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch the first season of Arrow, it's like 95% like shirtless pull-ups and sit-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah,
that's
I
what it
agree.
is.
But come second season is when they really took a
Yes,
chance. I mean, look,
yeah.
we're
Second
on
season
our
was
third
badass.
Vertigo right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't
They really,
understand that. That's really
well,
I don't really
the
like.
first
That's
one
one
was
thing
the
I.
drug, and
That's
it
the
was
one thing I
count that was
don't
the
like.
dealer. Then it was another guy who used
No,
the
it was
count-
both the same guy.
No, the
No,
second one was the same guy,
It was a
but he was like in a coma, and the other guy was draining his blood and mixing it with his version of Vertigo. So the third guy,
And then the third
was
guy was-
Vertigo,
Who also was the
Actually,
devil in Constantine.
Yes.
Yes.
Now that we bring it up.
He's the third. The
He
third one. He
dubs.
uses the drug just like Vertigo did in the comics, where it like disorients everybody. I mean, other than the whole time shifting thing, he hasn't done that yet. But my point is they are realming the comic book world of Green Arrow much more than they've done, because they realize that the comic book works. Like, you can actually write a television show
Yeah.
based on
right out of the
comic
fucking
books
comic book.
that
It's a
have been
script.
out for
It's
fucking-
it's
you know
it's
what I
a
mean?
pre-made script.
weird concept. You know what I mean? Like, the work's already half
Yeah,
done.
it's
All
fucking
you have to do is
motherfuckers
just
already
transfer it
wrote the
over to-
story. Just put it into a fucking
Exactly.
TV show
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why people didn't do this at the beginning.
because they're
But
fucking
Flash
idiots. That's
coming
why.
in so new, they know that, hey, look, the comic book shit works. Let's make it happen.
Yeah,
And they just right out the gate, boom, right into the
yeah.
comic book.
Flash
You
is
don't have any of the
great. I'm
bullshit.
loving it.
I agree with both of you. I love the Flash. I love Arrow. The reason I don't think Flash is better yet is because it's new.
They're
It's,
just
it's
yeah,
fresh.
We haven't got as many characters.
I mean, it has the
yet.
potential to be my favorite show right now out of the two of them.
Yeah,
But I wanna get to season 2.
yeah, yeah.
And did anybody hear the setup in Flash? They've said it in Arrow. No, I think it was Arrow. It's twice they've mentioned. Twice I've heard the city, Coast City. Anybody
Yeah,
else hear
they say it a lot. Even in the first episode of the Flash, they're running
Are we
the
gonna
course
get a Hal
on
Jordan?
Ferris Air. I don't. I put
mean,
somebody in there. I don't
the
care
only
if
problem
it's
is,
Kyle
though,
or
if it's-
John.
Well, yeah.
Just
You
don't
know
make
what?
it
No,
fucking
you're
what's his
probably,
name.
I would think. But
Could be Simon
Stewart
Baz,
wasn't
too.
from Coast City, was he?
What?
John Stewart wasn't from Coast City.
No.
Yeah, just Hal Jordan's the only one from Coast City.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm-
Was Kyle from Coast City also? No.
What
think
about
it was from
Simon
New York.
Baz?
Simon
I don't
Baz
think
is
they would
not
use-
from Coast City.
Yeah.
Simon Baz is from Detroit, Michigan. I
Is he?
think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
which is weird. Does that mean in the future they could well, Gotham was in a newspaper, I think.
No,
Or
they
Metropolis.
Said Gotham.
They said Gotham?
Yeah, they said there's because when there was these people coming in. It was when the cars were getting blown up. When Oliver Queen had his like reunion. No, wait. No, never mind. That's a different show. I'm thinking of Smallville.
Somebody go back
When
and
fucking
watch
Lex
season
Luthor.
1.
Lex Luthor had his reunion, and when there was a car that got blown up. That was Smallville. Never mind. He said he had to get back to Gotham.
Okay. Well, before
But Felicity Smoke did say something about there's a wondrous woman.
No, that's not Felicity Smoke. That's Smallville also.
yeah,
That was Chloe. That said
Damn it.
that. There's a
Oh,
wondrous
why am I so-
woman and
You're right,
a
and then
billionaire
there's a
that likes his
billionaire with-
toys.
I am so.
All right.
Damn it.
I'm cutting him off. Before we run out
I
of
had 3
time,
beers already in this episode, obviously.
Before we run out of time, let's take a moment and discuss the Age of Ultron trailer. Brian
I
wants
watched
to
it
go
like
first.
30. I watched it like 30 times already. Like I didn't even like before we discussed the trailer. What Marvel did was pure genius. It leaked. They stripped it all down, and they were like, "Fuck it." So they tweeted. Marvel tweeted something that said, "Damn it, Hydra," and then they
Yeah.
put it back up. Well, I think that is genius. They didn't go, "Oh, you get a lawyer. Somebody leaked this shit."
Yeah,
They
they
just
used
went-
it. They used it to.
Boom.
Well, they were already gonna. It was already like pretty much known that we were gonna get a trailer a week
Yeah,
after
this
that.
week.
On
So-
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not doing good in ratings.
No, Agents of Shield is gonna
Well,
probably.
there you
go
go.
off air
Ratings
before too
boost
long.
for it.
So
But
What do you think, Brian, of the
my
trailer
God.
itself?
A friend sent me a link. I was in my car at the post office. I saw it.
He remembers exactly where motherfucker was
saw
so impressed. No,
I
hang on
saw
a minute.
it. I
Motherfucker
took
was
my
so
AV
impressed with this thing that he will forever remember. I was sitting in my car at the parking lot, and the fucking the radio was on this station, and I was eating a Whopper.
I was in the middle of having
And I took
sex,
my
and I
AV
stopped
cables and
immediately.
plugged it into my car stereo just so I could have.
Did you really? Tell me
Yeah.
that's the truth. Oh my god.
That is the truth.
Oh, that's so
the
fucking
absolute
great.
truth.
And you
But-
watched it like 4 times sitting right there in the fucking parking lot, didn't you?
Yeah, actually, I didn't go in right away. But that trailer to me, it's a total different tone than Avengers 1. From the trailer, you get this dark, gritty tone, like, and just throughout the trailer, there's no like smiles on anybody's face, except when you get to the Ultron 2 part when it's walking out like this, and it's got like the helmet looks like it was like broken into like a mouth, but the James Spader has the most sadistic voice that you couldn't make anybody else Ultron. Like his voice is just so menacing and so like crazy that like it's just that scary. And like I thought that I still want to see more to compare the Quicksilvers, but I thought what you saw of him running and stuff looked good. The Scarlet Witch like throwing her bolts around looked good. Everybody looked good, but the Hulkbuster and the
Now, see, the Hulkbusters, where I am wondering if that's not Tony Stark. I'm wondering if, because
that's funny because other people say that too. That I saw reviews on YouTube that they're thinking maybe Tony Stark, Ultron's controlling the suit, Tony Stark in the suit, and that's why they're fighting.
it shows the regular Iron Man's face, and then the Hulkbuster helmet
Yeah.
comes over top of
Well,
it.
the
It never
Hulkbuster
shows
was-
his face.
Hulkbuster was always a like wasn't a suit. It was always like a shell that he flew
Right.
into. But that's a good point, and you think about it like maybe he gets control of because Ultron always controlled
He's just a
like different
system,
mechanics.
you know, yeah.
Yeah. So that was one thing people were saying, but the way the Hulkbuster looks, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
The final form at the end, you see of Ultron, and you see it through another part where he's standing over like a facility making other Ultron bots. Those look amazing. They did it.
Yeah.
I like how they did it well. I mean, some people don't like that his face is more articulated.
Yeah, that was one of my. I was talking with Pirate at work. That was one of my things. Was there's just something about Ultron. I can't put my finger on it. It looks sweet, but like there's just something that's just a little off. It just
That's a little
doesn't-
weird because he's supposed to be a robot, but like I kind of knew that was coming because when the movie started filming, they said that Spader was doing mocap, not mocap. What's the other thing where they put the dots on your face? Is that mocap
That's
still?
mocap. Yeah, that's
Well,
mocap.
but he was doing that, so I'm like, why is he doing that? But whatever. They're gonna try to do that to make him. They're probably doing that, I assume, to make him that more menacing. So you see his facial features make more grimacing looks and stuff like that.
Do you think Thanos is going to play a part in this movie at all?
No, I mean with Avengers, with the Civil War starting, and people are now thinking they're holding Thanos back for Avengers 4. That Avengers 3 will be like the second half of Civil War. Maybe you'll see the death of Captain America in that. Who knows? I mean,
It could be
like after
because
seeing that trailer,
Chris
Thanos
Evans
is like,
didn't want to do Captain America for much longer either.
well,
Robert
somebody
Downey
made a
Jr. didn't want to do it either. You know. What
yeah,
I mean?
Wow.
they made a point. Somebody made a point. These people are they're
That's a good point.
whatchamacallit? Yeah,
That's a real good point.
they're slated to do so many movies on their contract.
Right.
They don't have to be movie. There's your 6 movies. It could be movie. Okay, we're going to use you later on and introduce a new team, which they're speculated to be doing at the end of this movie.
Really.
Really.
So
Who
yeah,
are they supposed to? like, is there any? What's the speculation? Give me
Well,
the scoop
people
here.
are speculating. Well, it's been reported that at the end of the movie, Captain America has gathered a new team. So I mean, it could be
So it
you know
could
you
be
got
the new
you got
Avengers.
Scarlet Witch. It could be like the new Avengers. It could be Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, because those two are new. Vision, because he's showing up in this movie, which you didn't see in the trailer.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange
Yeah.
could be Ant-Man. I mean,
That's
I
true.
mean,
And you know what? They could even
War
throw a curveball
Machine.
in there of somebody who's not really, you know, a super like who's not been on an Avenger team. But if they're only going to do a temporary team, I mean, they could even throw
War
somebody
Machine.
like the Punisher in or War Machine. Yeah.
Not that
I
you're
mean, he
partial
could
to
take
that
over-
or anything.
I mean, Civil
Yeah.
War. I mean, you could also think Civil War could bring in those TV characters.
yeah, yeah.
The Netflix characters. Civil War could bring in like
Daredevil, Luke Cage. Yeah.
the other characters that are having movies, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange.
I
So
feel
when
like if they do Civil War, they almost have to have Daredevil. I feel like in order for Civil
Yeah.
War to work,
Well, they would have.
I
Well,
feel
they
like
have to have Spider-Man,
have Spider-Man,
but, you know.
and I feel like they really need to have Daredevil in there as
that
well.
big announcement we were talking about before that we have no idea that could be the big announcement. We got Spider-Man's
Spider-Man
use,
back or something.
but
Yeah.
we're still
Yeah,
paying
I forgot
Sony
about
and
that.
stuff like
That'd
that.
be sick.
I mean, but you think about it, if you haven't read Infinity Gauntlet, which they're leading to with the whole Thanos and the gems,
Yeah,
this could be that needed a whole slew of characters to take on Thanos because he was impossible to beat because he has the power of a god. So collecting all these characters,
you're building
maybe
that army slowly.
maybe whittling a few down because actors and stuff like that. You're building this army to take on Thanos.
That's a good thought.
Who knows? You heard it here if it actually happens.
And it just reminded me. I bet they end up doing something with the Punisher because it's.
Didn't they get the
Ryan-
rights to him?
Yeah, they relinquished the rights.
And Ghost Rider too.
Yeah, and Ghost Rider because the movies were like such big flops. He's like, we'll relinquish.
What?
them.
You didn't like the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider?
The second one
God.
was actually pretty.
You mean
decent, I thought.
the second one was decent to what they were doing with him, but I didn't like how he was all charred up and
No.
every time he changed it was like he was on drugs. It's like one
One
Well,
more
if I
time.
was on fire, I'm pretty sure that's how it would kind of.
One more time. How was it, Brian?
it was like
Yeah, you saw it here first.
Like he was gurgling mouthwash.
Yeah,
and
gurgling
shaking
something.
at the same
and then he peed fire, which was pretty funny, but still. How do you pee?
Oh God! All right, well that's about it for this week. We'll end on the high note there of flaming urine. I'm Fox 2. We got Pirate
time. See you guys.
and the whole effing Brian.
He should have shit fire.
It's a hot pile of shit.